Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, but more importantly, happy birthday, Jackson. 200 years of dreams and progress and living, and that's what we're here to celebrate this entire weekend. I am Elaine Christian, and I am chair of the Jackson-Madison County Bicentennial Commission Board. We have been working for 21 months, I think, on this wonderful event, and we're so delighted that we are at the conclusion of it and the finale weekend. So we welcome you, and we thank you for being here. At this time, I'd like to ask Glenn Vaux to come forward with our invocation.
Thank you, Elaine. May we bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we are here tonight at the Carl Perkins Civic Center, celebrating the city of Jackson and Madison County's bicentennial in music and song. As we go through this beautiful evening, listening to these beautiful voices and talented musicians, we ask that you bless all of us here in this place. And we also ask you to bless all of the citizens, the families, and the friends of our beloved community. Dear Lord, in times like these, we want to ask you to continue to bless our beautiful city, Jackson, Tennessee, and our beautiful county, Madison County. We ask these blessings in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Glenn. At this time, we'd ask the Jenny E. Lane Choir from our very own Lane College to come forward to present the national anthem, and I would ask you all to please rise. And the choir is under the direction of Dr. Alexis Rainbow. So, Dr. Rainbow, thank you for making these arrangements. You may all be seated. What a beautiful, beautiful rendition. Dr. Rainbow, thank you, and members of the ensemble very much. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to what I'm calling the Dream Team, because, ladies and gentlemen, we are volunteers. We have given our time and our efforts because we love this community. We're proud of our community. But this commission board is just amazing, and I'd like to ask them to come forward. Miss Anita K. Archer, Ted Austin, Leanne Bentley, Trey Cleek, Gail Gilbert, Ken Newman, Glenn Vaux, Marta Wallace, Randy Wallace, and Lonnie Harris, who could not be with us tonight, and Whitney Norwood, who we could not have survived as a board without Whitney Norwood with the library keeping us straight. Oh, Judy, oh Lord, my best friend forever, Judy Renshaw. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want something done, these are the people who can make it happen, and I'm so proud to have worked with each and every person. But another group that we could not have done this year without are our sponsors. I think we have those up, that we appreciate them so much. It's our legacy sponsors, the City of Jackson, Madison County, JEA, Jackson Energy Authority, and West Tennessee Healthcare. So at this time, we're going to start with hearing from our mayors, City Mayor, Mayor Conger. Scott Conger, would you come forward, please?
Now, Elaine, you stay right there, because as you all know, this team did it, but they were led by Elaine, and so there's a special surprise for you, and I think they're going to be coming forward from somewhere. Maybe. There we go. We had it planned a little different, but she put everybody on the front of the stage, so we had to go around. Well, welcome everyone tonight. Thank you all. They're real flowers. Yeah. Thank you all for being here tonight to celebrate the culmination of our year-long celebration and 2 years' worth of planning. I'd especially like to thank our Bicentennial Chair, Elaine Christian, for all the work she's done. You know, when Mayor Harris and I were looking for someone to lead our celebration, we knew that Elaine was that person. And she recruited some amazing volunteers to help her organize such an amazing year. And mainly she was that person because you can't tell her no. And so that's how she got the volunteers and got everyone involved. So our celebration is a representation of our city and our county, because one event couldn't do it. The committee, they methodically planned and ensured that every community was recognized and celebrated in the way that coincided with each community's identity. So many people came together for one purpose, that's to celebrate us. And we look pretty good for 200 years old. Countless hours were spent on many activities we had throughout the year, and we couldn't have enjoyed them without those dedicated volunteers. And most of all, thanks to you, Jackson folks, for showing up tonight, for showing up throughout the year, for showing up every day to make our city vibrant, kind, productive, and the place that it is. The work that you do, the values that you bring to daily life in the community, those are the primary reasons Jackson is such a wonderful city. We are Jackson. And it doesn't matter if you're a native Jacksonian, if you moved here, where you came from, what neighborhood you live in, each and every one of us is what makes Jackson so special. This is going to be a phenomenal weekend and a phenomenal night. It's a great time to celebrate living in the best city. But as this celebration ends, don't let your community and civic pride end with it. Let's continue to carry on and continue to make Jackson even better. We have a lot of opportunities ahead of us. If we work together and put common good ahead of personal agendas, there's no limit to what we can accomplish. See, I have big plans for Jackson, but I'm going to need your help to make those plans a reality. As we continue to look forward and toward our future, we have to remember that all the progress we enjoy today was cultivated over the last 200 years. So as we look through this weekend and celebrate tonight, let's look forward and think what our legacy will be. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Scott. And I have to give a real big shout out. Those were my precious grandsons. That is so sweet. So Miles and Miller, thank you so much for my beautiful flowers. At this time, we'd like to hear from the County Mayor, Jimmy Harris. Jimmy?
Good evening. First, I would like to say thank you all for being here. And look at all of these people over in this choir and all the musicians that are going to play. Everybody donated their time and effort to many practices to be here tonight to perform for our bicentennial. So let's first give them a big hand, please. Well, for the county, we started about a year and a half ago celebrating the bicentennial. It culminated November?
Yes, November 9th.
November 9th. And we've had lots of events. We've had between the city and the county, we've had over 600 events in this community stretching from Three-Way to Pinson to Beach Bluff to you name it, we've had events. And during that time, we've had about 150 and upwards of volunteers that helped put those events on, organize this event, and we could not have had what we have tonight or in the past year and a half without the commitment of all these people. And I would ask you, please give them a hand for their efforts. If you think about 200 years ago, I said this back in the Pinson celebration. 200 years ago, people who came to Madison County, city of Jackson, they came on a boat, on a horse, a wagon, or walked. If you were in Pinson, Tennessee, and you wanted to go to Three-Way, it would take you about 8 to 10 hours on a horse or a buggy to get there. Think about today and now, give or take, depending on traffic, takes us 30, 40 minutes to get from Pinson to Three-Way. So we've come a long way. And I wish that they could see what we are today versus where they started. I think they would say we've done a lot of things right. I think they would say, yeah, you might improve on a few things. But think about the people 50 years from now that's going to be celebrating the, what do you call it? Sester Centennial, 50 years from now. We hope that and I fully believe what the work Trey Cleeks put in, the time capsule we have is going to be intact. Nothing is going to be destroyed. Everything will be just like it is tomorrow when we put it in the ground. I absolutely, and thank you, Trey and his team, for that. Lastly, I want to say it's been an absolute honor for me for y'all to allow me to serve as your county mayor the last 15 years. It seems like it was just yesterday it started. However, I look in the mirror and I know I had more hair and it was a different color when I started 15 years ago. But I thank you for the confidence you've shown in me. But you know, we had an election just a few weeks ago, and I want to introduce you to the man who's going to step in my spot, and that's A.J. Massey. Give him a hand. AJ needs your prayers, your support, and your encouragement to take on this role, leading this county. But I want you to know from my heart, thank you for allowing me to be here, and thank you for being here to celebrate our 200-year anniversary. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Harris. I did want to recognize we have State Representative Chris Todd is in the house. Chris, we appreciate you being with us tonight. Thank you. So we are here tonight to celebrate this year and to have our closing ceremonies. But as I mentioned earlier, we absolutely could not have done this without our wonderful sponsors, our legacy sponsors, the City of Jackson and Madison County. You've just heard from both of the mayors. But all of our events this year have been free and open to the public. And we did make a commitment to make sure that we could do that. And additionally, their program lists all of the sponsors, but I'd like to recognize our two other legacy sponsors, J.R. Ross, CEO of West Tennessee Healthcare, and Jim Farrell, CEO of Jackson Energy Authority, and they're going to come and just make a couple remarks.
Thank you. Pleased to be a part of such a historic series of events celebrating our community's bicentennial. Jackson Energy Authority has been a part of this community for over 60 years, and we look forward to working with our leaders as we go forward with new challenges and new growth that's coming. We've seen a tremendous amount of change over the last 200 years, and I'm excited to see what the next 200 years brings. Tomorrow we're going to be burying a time capsule, and I don't know that I'm going to be there to see it opened, but it'll be exciting to see for our kids and our grandkids what things were like in 2022. We've got an exciting series of events this weekend, and we're just very appreciative of being a part of this, and we're thank you for the being part of the celebration. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
It's an honor and a privilege to be here tonight to represent West Tennessee Healthcare and the sponsorship for such a momentous occasion. You know, this opportunity really came about and made me a little bit nervous, and I had several conversations with Elaine. How do you go back and look 200 years about healthcare, medical care, in this community? But it's absolutely a phenomenal story, and I'm so proud that the Bicentennial afforded the opportunity for us to go back and look at things like snake oil and herbs and castor oil and other things like that that were considered part of medicinal care. Yes, I did say castor oil. It is also an honor and a privilege to just think about some of the first physicians in the community and what they brought and the legacy that they left and how they set the stage for a wonderful healthcare environment located here in Jackson and Madison County. So on behalf of West Tennessee Healthcare, and particularly Jackson-Madison County General Hospital, who, by the way, is celebrating its 72nd birthday this weekend, and yes, thank you. And I look forward to the next 200 years and being able to be here to share that glorious time with all of you. And as I leave, I'm reminded, to whom much is given, much is expected. Thank you all.
Thank you, JR. I don't think I'll be here in another 200 years either, so I'm keeping good company. At this time, we are so delighted to have this event sponsors for this evening. We have with us Gary Grisham with the Bank of Jackson, who brought some of the travel club members. We're glad to have you here, as well as Hal Crocker with HCB Realty, Healthy Communities, and Southern Airways Express was unable to have a representative. So, Gary, thank you.
Elaine, thank you very much. By my count, you have been welcomed about 5 times and thanked about 5 times, but that is my job tonight, is on behalf of all of my Bank of Jackson associates, our board of directors, our shareholders, and most of all, our customers. We want to thank you for being here, and we welcome you here. You know, we, as many of these sponsors do, get involved in a lot of different events throughout the year. This one feels just a little bit different to me. And I think since we're recognizing achievement in our community, the bank is a part of that. And it just feels like we're celebrating along with everybody else in that regard. It's been a wonderful combination for the last 26 years. The Bank of Jackson, and our only market that we serve, Jackson-Madison County. And we think it'll last for a lot longer. Thank y'all for being here tonight, and let's enjoy the show. Elaine, you've been terrific too. Thank you.
I was really excited when Elaine gave me the opportunity, or in Healthy Community, to have the opportunity to be a sponsor tonight. My grandfather came to Jackson to work. He was born in Obion County and worked there on a farm, and left that to get a better job in Jackson, Tennessee, because at that time it presented the best opportunity for him. My father was born here. He went to school here, graduated from Jackson High, went to Union University. I guess it was Union College back then. I was born in the local hospital. My dad born at home, but I got to go to the hospital, and it was our Jackson-Madison County Hospital then. My daughter was born there, and my grandchildren were all born there. The great thing about celebrating is it does give us a chance to honor the past of our community and look at the reasons that people have been here, stayed here, lived here, committed their lives to being part of this place. It's also a great opportunity to look at the future. So when I do what I do, I think a lot about what is it that I need to do in order to make my community the kind of place that my grandchildren will want to stay in after they grow up and they can make their own decisions. So far, we've been doing pretty good. Everybody in my family has stayed so far. But I would like for us to, as we're looking at the past, to look at how we can meet the challenges that will make this the kind of place that our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren will continue to want to live in. And so that's kind of how our name, Healthy Communities, came apart. It was a minor typo. It says Healthy Communities, where there's only one community that we're working on, and that's this one. So we're singular in that and singular in our focus. We get to celebrate an anniversary as well. So in January will be the 10th anniversary since Jackson Walk opened its first business, and that first business was the lift. We did in partnership with West Tennessee Healthcare. We've committed ourselves to being observant of the history of our city and that portion, which is the oldest portion of our city, but we've also committed to the renewal of that and the effort to make that the kind of place that people would come back to and, again, renew their commitment to being a part of the life in Jackson. And we're glad to be a part of this event, and we're glad to be a part of the community. Thank you for having us, Tilly.
Thank you so much, Hal. I would just offer a reminder, check your cell phones, make sure we do have those cell phones in silent mode. At this time, Miss Judy Renshaw, my partner in crime for many years, will lead off the board. Judy, thank you, our events chair. Thank this team one more time. We have just a couple of things to continue with our closing ceremonies. We have a short PowerPoint. Terry, I think you're going to cue that for us. But while we're getting that cued, we have just something I wanted to share was the mission for the Bicentennial, to celebrate Jackson and Madison County's 200 years of history, living, progress, dreams, and future promise, and to honor our 200-year legacy in an inspiring, inclusive way that engages all of our citizens and leaves a legacy for future generations. Terry, the first slide, please. Okay, thank you. I did want to say that as Mayor Harris got our numbers just a little bit backwards, we have had 600 events, we've had 600 volunteers, Jimmy, helping with 150 events. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a whole long year of fun and historic events, and we have really enjoyed that. We like to refer to this Bicentennial project as the largest civic pride initiative that the city of Jackson and Madison County have ever undertaken. We are going to do just a little bit of a recap. Next slide. We've already met the board this evening. Scott and Jimmy served as ex officio on that board. Next. And we've talked about our legacy sponsors and recognized them. Thank you so much. And the sponsors this evening. So join me again one more time in thanking these sponsors. At this time, we have a very special gentleman in the house. You may have met him in the lobby, but I would like to ask Kevin McCann to come up. Kevin? Ladies and gentlemen, in your bags as you entered tonight, you did receive some gifts, but one of the gifts that's so important is something that Kevin has created, Milestones, celebrating 200 years of achievement in our county. And I will have to explain to you, Kevin volunteered and donated his time to write this book. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in thanking him. He's featured over 86 topics of people, events, dates, things that were important in this 200 years of history. And these is kind of targeted to 11th graders. We have an event coming up on September 10th. It's called One Book, One Community, in partnership with the library. And I know Donna and some of her staff are in the house. So Donna and the library, we couldn't have done this year without you as well. And Jack Wood from the Tennessee Room helped. The history committee worked on this. But we cannot say enough thanks to Kevin. And I hope if you didn't get your book signed, come back on the 10th and he'll be signing books again. But thank you, Kevin. When we started talking about the events of the year, our committee started thinking about what is a lasting impact we could have on the community, and we came up with the idea of legacy projects. And we were very fortunate enough to just this month sign contracts and engage 2 fabulous artists to do historic drawings of our community. Caleb O'Connor will have his painting in the north foyer of the courthouse, and everyone knows Dr. Linda Nove, alumni of Lambeth for so many years, and she will do a painting in the city hall. So that's a part of our legacy. And then we're also, the time capsule, you heard us talk about the time capsule. You're aware of kind of what happened with the one that we had to open that was 50 years old. Well, I will tell you, Trey and his committee have engineered the heck out of this new time capsule. So we urge you to join us tomorrow at 11:30, where that time capsule, with the help of the big, it's not a backhoe, it's a track hoe, to lower that into, and we will bury that time capsule tomorrow. We also are planning on the park. It will be the Bicentennial Park will serve as the welcome to downtown, coming in from the west, coming east as you come in on Airways, and we're looking forward to that. The weekend is full of events. The celebration parade in the morning at 10. So come downtown and join us. The time capsule at 11:30. And then we will be rocking the house out at Jackson Ballpark with Lolo opening at 6:30 and the fabulous, fabulous Commodores at 7:30. And you can't have a 200th birthday party without fireworks.
50 years ago, during the Sesquicentennial, we designed a new city flag. And so we decided during our Bicentennial to do that as well. Gentlemen, y'all come on in and walk in. And so the process we went through, come on in. Don't unfold it yet, just come on in. Process we went through was through our Public Art Commission. They put out the request for that. We had artists from all over submit designs. City Council, Public Art Commission narrowed it down to 3. And then Chris Stewart, who is a phenomenal artist right here, who also designed our Bicentennial t-shirts, if you get one of those, won the contest for our new city flag. Congratulations. You can tell he's an artist by his jacket. So here's our new city flag. And this flag, the other flags are on order, and they will be hung up in front of all our city buildings. They'll be available. We're going to provide all kinds of opportunities to display this community pride of our city, great city of Jackson, throughout the city. And so thank you, Chris, for being a fantastic artist. Thank you all the artists who submitted our work. Thank you so much.
But at this time, we have worked really hard, and we've put together a video that will just kind of recap the fun that we had this year and give you just a little taste of what those 150 events look like. So Terry, if you're ready, we're ready for the video. We're so excited about how this year has evolved, celebrating Jackson-Madison County and 200 years of progress. And when the mayors approached me about this idea, it was really overwhelming, but we reached out and we recruited the most amazing team to pull this together, and the community has just responded so positively. It's really been an exciting year, and it's been a joy.
Big birthday bash kickoff was downtown at the farmers market, at the amp. It was a great event. A lot of people downtown. Stages, multiple stages set up. Started out, we really one stage, and then the event got so large and people were so excited to celebrate Jackson-Madison County, we had to go to 2 stages. And so it was great to come downtown and see so many people ready to celebrate Jackson and Madison County.
Well, our Heritage Days have been really fun and really interesting. I think all of our communities in Madison County, most all of them put a Heritage Day together. They put out a lot of work and effort into historical events around their community and how their community kind of progressed from where it started. And we've been all over the county, and I think the communities have felt a really part of our celebration.
We had a lot of events through the year, but one specifically that was near and dear to my heart was Ag Day. And our history in Madison County started in agriculture, and we just appreciate the folks putting that day together. We had demonstrations of how things were created. We had a mule plowing. We had lectures and interesting stories. It was a beautiful day, so it was wonderful to celebrate our ag heritage. When we started planning, we were focused on events initially, and then our committee started to think, we need to have some items that can commemorate and memorialize this year-long celebration, and the concept of legacy projects kind of evolved. We were able to create a history book. It's called Milestones of Jackson-Madison County. The book is targeted toward 11th graders, and every 11th grader in the school system will receive a copy of the book, but it highlights in chronological order some of the significant people and events that shaped our community. And then we looked into art projects. So we have just engaged 2 artists to do paintings that will go both in the courthouse as well as in City Hall. And those will be lasting, and they'll reflect on our community, the progress that we've made, and help us celebrate. And it'll be a teaching instrument for our students and our community. Another part of our legacy project is, where do we put the new time capsule, and how can we really commemorate this year in a lasting and effective way? And we worked with Mayor Conger to choose Bicentennial Park. That's where the new time capsule will go. There'll be a retaining wall with a sign, "Welcome to downtown, it's Bicentennial Park." And eventually we'll have a sculpture there to commemorate this special occasion. We'll also have some historical information just about the important parts of our community. And I'm really excited about that. When we were planning the event, we wanted to involve the children, and we wanted it to also focus on their creativity. So we really appreciate Leaders Credit Union for stepping up and sponsoring our Creative Expressions Contest. Dr. Ken Newman and the Education Committee spent a lot of time developing a strategy for implementing that program. We touched children from kindergarten to college age, and we had 22 schools participate in the categories of actually drawing, art, essay, and poetry, and had a wonderful evening to celebrate the accomplishments of these talented students. And also, one of those items will go into our time capsule. So that was a really unique way to select a memorable item for the time capsule.
In November, we celebrated Madison County's 200th birthday at the Ned. Well, it's kind of an interesting and moving event because we had portrayals of different characters in our history. We had music from our history and people who have made Madison County, put Madison County on the map as far as our music history. So it was a really good synopsis of Madison County history for 200 years. At the end of our event at the Ned, we moved to Bicentennial Park. We were led by Lane College Band. We had probably 150, 200 people march down with us to the park. It was really very invigorating with the college band and people excited, and then go down and do the groundbreaking on Bicentennial Park.
So we had a very interesting day when we dug our time capsule up from 1972. Didn't know what to expect. There was no instructions for our time capsule. Our city workers, city employees did a great job of getting that time capsule out of the ground. We learned some valuable lessons from that experience, and so I think that helped prepare us for our time capsule. And so when we bury that one in Bicentennial Park, we'll be better prepared.
We thank those sponsors, our legacy sponsors, City of Jackson, Madison County, West Tennessee Healthcare, and JEA, as well as all the other sponsors that made this year possible.
Thank you so much for celebrating with us throughout the year, especially this weekend. Whether you're joining us for the Bicentennial Choir, the parade, the concert, the fireworks, or all of these weekend's activities, we appreciate your involvement and appreciate you celebrating with us.
Have celebrate this past year. It was really a lot of fun. Terry, we have another slide on the PowerPoint. It might take him just a second. But we're so pleased to have you with us tonight. I'll put in another plug for the weekend activities, of course, starting in the morning with the parade at 10 o'clock. The time capsule burial, I don't think you want to miss that one. It's going to be really amazing. And then, of course, coming out to the ballpark, we're urging people to get there early because the parking is going to be crazy. The seats are not reserved. We have a couple of VIP sections, but everyone's going to be looking for a seat, and it's just going to be a really, really fun evening. I think we have one more slide. Okay, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, Bicentennial is always about looking forward, but we also have to take a moment and look back. There are so many people whose shoulders we have climbed and how have made our community stronger. They've made a difference in our community. And I just want us to remember three really special people. They're special to this community in so many ways, but they were amazingly involved with the Bicentennial, and we are so saddened by their loss. Dennis Henderson, who was the vice president of the Bicentennial Commission Board, Mr. Billy King, who loved this community so much and dedicated his efforts writing books, and then, of course, Mr. Harbert Alexander Sr., who's our Madison County historian, a prolific author, wonderful storyteller. Harbert and I, we planned so much of what happened within the History Committee and just within the whole process. I know his family is with us tonight, and we want to pay tribute to these three special people and whose shoulders have allowed this Bicentennial to be so much stronger. And we have the three empty chairs to symbolically remember them and thank them. Well, we're going to transition one more time. This is the reason everyone's here tonight. Are you ready to be entertained? Oh, yeah. I tell you, this choir is amazing. I've got to hear two different rehearsals, and it's going to be a very powerful program. We are just delighted to have you all. So, guys, join me again in recognizing the choir. Mr. Austin Clark has returned home. Austin is the conductor for this special evening. He, of course, native of Jackson. I know many of you have known Austin all his life. He has went Jackson Central Mary grad, went to Union University, got his master's in music conducting from University of Southern Mississippi. And he has also been instrumental in the Choral Society, conducting musical programs. And he and his family have recently relocated to Seymour, Tennessee, which is near Knoxville. But we were able to talk him into coming to Jackson for a few trips. And then also Madeline Musser. Madeline, where are you? I don't know if she's on. There she is, our assistant conductor and coordinator. And she kept us organized, and we are just so delighted. But the program is amazing. There will be a short intermission, and we urge you to stay because the first part of the program has songs tied to Jackson-Madison County and West Tennessee. You'll find some familiar songs. And then the second intermission is just going to blow you away. So join me in welcoming Austin Clark, conductor.
The sad, sad story of an engineer.
Before Casey Jones was the rounder's name,
And on the 6-8 Miller boys he made his claim.
now they call Casey at 4:30.
He kissed his wife at the station door. Nodded the cabin orders in his hand.
And then he took that journey to the promised land.
Casey Jones,
Mounted to the cabin
Casey Jones,
with his orders in his hand.
Casey Jones.
Mounted to the cabin and he took his farewell journey to the promised land. Jumped into the cabin,
Go Casey,
knew he couldn't wait.
go Casey, headed up the mountain.
Go Casey,
But the train was running late.
go Casey, pulled on the throttle.
Go Casey,
There's no turning back.
go Casey,
He saw the number 4 train
so Casey,
marching down the same track.
so Casey, so
Going faster and faster, they were headed for disaster. Slow, Casey, slow, Casey, slow, slow, slow. No, Casey, no, Casey, no, no, no. Poor Casey said just before he died,
there are 2 more roads that I want to ride.
the fireman said, Casey, what's that you say?
I said the Northern Pacific and the Santa Fe. Casey Jones, mounted to the cabin. Casey Jones, with his orders in his hand. Casey Jones, mounted to the cabin, and he took his farewell journey to the promised land.
Oh, yes, he took that journey to the promised land.
face, slander my name all over the place. Do anything that you wanna do, but honey, lay off of my shoes. But don't you step on my blue suede shoes. Well, you can do anything, but lay off of my blue suede shoes.
I got blue suede shoes. I got blue suede shoes. I got blue suede shoes. I got blue suede shoes. But you can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes. I've tried shoes of brown and I've tried black and gray, but when it comes to shoes, man, here's what I've got to say. If I told it truly, I'm always truly my blue suede shoes. I've tried shoes of brown and I've tried black and gray, but when it comes to shoes, man, here's what I've got to say. If I told it truly, I'm always truly my blue suede shoes. I've tried black and gray, but when it comes to shoes, man, here's what I've got to say. If I told it truly, I'm always truly my blue suede shoes.
Well, you can burn my house, steal my car, drink my cider from an old fruit jar. Do anything that you wanna do, but honey, lay off of my shoes. Well, don't you step on my blue suede shoes. Well, you can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes.
you try your best, but you don't succeed. When you get what you want, but not what you need.
You feel so tired, but you can't sleep.
Stuck in rivers, and the tears come streaming down your face. When you lose something you can't replace.
When you love someone, but it goes to waste.
Could it be worse? Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try
I'm not walking off again, sorry. So it's such an honor to be able to be with you tonight and to celebrate the Bicentennial of Jackson, Tennessee. Yes, the first half of the program had a very strong link to Jackson. You saw several composers who either lived here or are from here. You saw songs, obviously, that were linked to Jackson, just in name alone, even. But the second half of the program it does have meaning. It's mostly just to expose you to some really good music. But also in that, as we talk about city, as we talk about community, a lot of that is centered around relationships, around how we view each other and how we lift each other up. And so we're about to go into a section of songs. Some of them you'll know and be close to your heart, but frequently they're about our relationships, about how we have friends in each other. And in a day and age where it's easy to get pretty mad at each other pretty quickly, especially, it's good to be reminded that we live in a wonderful world. And to remind ourselves that we really are all in the same boat together and to love each other a little bit more. And so we're going to be singing some of the songs that you know. For me, I grew up in Jackson. I moved here when I was 8. And while Jackson has a lot of things that it contributed to my life, I would say the thing that's most apparent in my life is the spiritual formations and foundations that I got in Jackson, Tennessee. You see, my grandfather was a pastor here in Jackson for many, many years. My father was a music minister here in Jackson for many years. And I even served just up the road in Milan for a few years. And as we talk about community, for me, Jackson is where I learned how to love people. It's where I learned the importance of loving on people when they are at their weakest. It's where I learned how to minister to people when they are broken and to look at people through the eyes of God. And so as we talk about community, we also recognize that all is for naught if God's hand is not in it. And so we sing and we ask the Lord of all blessings to come and dwell upon this city as well as all of us.
When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand, and nothing, oh, nothing is going right, just close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night.
want to say thank you again for coming and being a part of this. These kinds of events are incredibly important to community, but as musicians, just an opportunity to gather together and to use that gift corporately is always just such an honor. And then for you to actually want to listen to it, that's just great, you know, because you don't want to listen to me sing for 2 hours, that's for sure. But thank you for coming and being a part of tonight. It's been a joy to be with you. We're going to close with 2 final songs tonight, asking the Lord, who is our song in the night, to just rule and reign over us as we leave, and understanding his incredible power as we sing My Song in the Night and Didn't My Lord Deliver Daniel.
Daniel? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? Deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man?
He delivered Daniel from the lion's den, Jonah from the belly of the whale, and the Hebrew children from the fiery furnace. And why not every man?
Did my Lord